So Overwatch 2 Season 2 is finally out, and I just want to give my opinion on what I think about the season so far. So let's start off with the thing that they just shove down your throat as soon as you log into the game, the Battle Pass. Now, most of the rewards in the Battle Pass aren't that good, like emotes, I guess, sprays that were never going to use, voice lines.
Do not tell the mammal how high he can go.
I guess, yeah. Souvenirs, please get rid of those. Or like, do something else. Be like Apex where you can just throw them on the ground maybe, and they can just display on the ground instead of you having to hold them up. But the skin quality in the Season 2 Battle Pass is actually pretty much better than last season. Cause like, the Bug Hero Soldier skin, that's a slap. That is a good one right there. The Poseidon Ramatra skin is actually pretty good. I actually really like that. Too bad the character itself is, you know, we'll talk about it in a bit. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, most of the skins in Overwatch 2 Season 2 are actually pretty good. They're like very much a direct upgrade from last season. I'm actually looking forward to using 90% of the skins. The only skin that I'm not going to be using out of the Battle Pass is the Matrix Symmetra skin. That skin is just an L in my eyes. But yeah, most of the cosmetics in this Battle Pass is actually pretty good this season. The only thing that I still hate is that they put Ramatra in the Battle Pass. And yeah, they put him down like 10 levels, so instead of you having to grind 55 hours to get the new character, you only have to grind 45. Like, there's a really big difference there. But so far, at least we can say that he's not pay to win, because most people who played him say he's very weak. And I've played him myself, and I will tell you, he's a struggle to actually get some kind of use out of, because the one thing that makes a tank, high health / damage mitigation, is kind of not his forte, seeing that he only has 400 health, which in grand scheme is not bad whenever you think about it. But whenever you actually think about a real tank, especially one with low health, they typically have some way of gaining shields, or their shield or damage mitigation itself is not on a cooldown. Like, I get it, his nemesis form, I can get why they would put that on a cooldown. It's pretty powerful. At the same time, it's his only fun mode, because his regular mode is just straight up boring. You're doing nothing, because as soon as you try to engage, the enemy team's just gonna delete you. And another thing, his shield in his regular mode is straight up weak, because all you have to do is walk past it or wait 4 seconds. You know, the whole thing about a tank, damage mitigation, he just gets negated that by people that are either patient or have legs, which is 90% of the cast of Overwatch 2. Well, actually technically 100% if you count Zenyatta, even though he's just floating. And another weird thing about this character is, why is his shield on a 15-second cooldown? What is the point of that? Seeing that he already has low health / he already has to wait 8 seconds to go into the mode where he's supposed to be a tank. So all of your tanking abilities are on a cooldown, which is stupid. And on top of that, they're on a long cooldown. You have to wait 8 seconds to go into your tank form, and then you have to wait 15 seconds to put up a 4-second shield. Like, why does the shield need to only last 4 seconds? What are you gonna do within that time? Because guess what? The enemy team is just gonna be like, oh, let's just wait the 4 seconds out here, team. Just hide behind the corner. All right, boys? Or, hey, boys, let's charge the Ramatra. He can't do anything about it. The whole purpose of Ramatra is to be a tank and to mitigate damage. The only way he is mitigating damage at this point is literally him throwing his body into the enemy team and mitigating 450 health, because there's nothing else he can do whenever his nemesis form is on cooldown and his shield is also on cooldown. You can easily put up your shield, go into your nemesis form, and then get out of your nemesis form and still have no shield to put up whenever you're in a fight. It makes no sense, seeing that in Overwatch 2, the tank needs to have some way of getting to point with taking the least amount of damage. He has no speed, his damage mitigation is on a long cooldown / doesn't last long enough at all. Also, he's extremely slow. He has 4 weaknesses. These are 4 cardinal sins of a tank in Overwatch 2. Now, if this was Overwatch 1 and we had 2 tanks, Ramatra would be 100% fine. Everyone would be like, oh yeah, just bring a Reinhardt. Yo, y'all boys about to brawl on point. But you can't do that unless you're playing open queue, which, Lord rest your soul if you do. Ooh, you are not doing anything with this boy. Because I get it, his shield is supposed to be like a reposition type of tool. But it's not a reposition tool if it's on a 15-second cooldown and it goes away after 4 seconds. And then on top of that, what happens when you reposition? They're just gonna look at you at the other position and be like, oh, shoot him. But that's just my opinion on Ramatra. At the end of the day, none of us really know what his power level is because he just came out. Some people think he's OP, and some people think he's straight up garbage. What do you guys think about Ramatra? Tell me in the comments down below. Now moving on to the final new thing in Overwatch 2, the new map, Shambali Monastery. It is hot trash. It is not good. It needs to go back into the oven. Whoever made this needs to find another job not developing maps, or at least being like an assistant on map making and having no say in making a map at all, because this is hands down the worst map in Overwatch 2. It's so thin, you have to like funnel your way either through this thin choke point or these tight hallways, and you can easily just be stopped by anyone that's just looking in the general direction of the buildings or choke point that you have to go through to get to, you know, the cart to push it up the hill, which is pretty cool. I like how this whole map is an uphill push. I like that. And I'm gonna be honest, it really doesn't give the defenders any more of an advantage that they already don't have. This is basically Hanamura 2.0 because you have to go through this one choke point unless you go through these thin buildings where a Junkrat or Pharah can just start lobbing rockets and grenades at it and just stop you immediately, because how are you gonna get past it? And everyone and everything is so close and compact on this map to where literally if someone sees you go through a building, they can tell the team, hey, someone's in building to the right. Oh, everyone, turn your mouse to the right. Now, could you get an unsuspecting flank onto someone? Yeah, maybe you could change a little bit of the game, but for the most part, if someone has a headset on, they're gonna hear you before you even get to them. Now, the layout of the map may not be that good, but in general, it's a pretty beautiful map. I very much love the look of it. I just think that they need to make it a little bit wider and a little bit more accessible for the attackers to have a chance, because there have been too many times where everyone has made it almost to the first checkpoint and then immediately got stopped because the defending team just became a wall, and there's nothing you can do because you're in this tight, tiny little corridor, and you probably spent literally half, if not most of your time trying to get to the first point, to where now, as soon as you get wiped, the whole game is over. You're most likely gonna be in overtime by the time you get to the first checkpoint. It's not a good design. I like the map, but I don't like the layout. I think they need to change that. I know they nerfed and buffed a couple characters in this patch, but I don't care about most of them. Most of them are gonna either stay OP or stay weak as hell. What we really care about is the Doomfist buffs. They finally gave our boy what he deserves, a fighting chance. Doomfist after his buffs feel really good. He actually feels like he's mobile, he's able to defend, he's able to actually use the thing that is in his whole name, his fist. Now don't get me wrong, this is no Overwatch 1 Doomfist. He still barely does any damage, but guess what? He's able to do slightly more damage with his fist, and you get more uptime with it. You have more of a chance to actually hit someone with your fist and then get into the fight, use your primary fire a little bit, and then hit someone again. It's a revolutionary thing where Doomfist is allowed to use his fist. I still don't think he's 100% where he should be. I still think that they should add an ability to where whenever he uses his power block, however much damage he blocks is however much damage his fist does. So you don't have to get to 100% full charge. Even though I know they lowered it to 80 damage you need to block instead of 90, I still think it's stupid that you have to block the full 80 damage instead of, oh, you block 70% of damage, so you get a 70% fist. But so far, Doomfist actually feels better than what he originally did in the first iteration of him as a tank. Now, I still think he should be allowed to do some kind of ridiculous damage. He still doesn't do enough damage to actually cause anyone distress whenever they get hit by it. Unlike a Reinhardt hammer, get hit by that thing twice, you're done. Alright, don't be a tracer. You get swung on once, it's over. Them knees are done. They're out of here. But yeah, Doomfist still does feel better than what he did before, and even though they did reduce the stun duration on his fist, I think it's negligible. Like, how many Doomfists were punching people into the wall and then walking all the way over to the person they stunned on the wall, trying to hit them with the primary fire? Not too many Doomfists were getting there that fast, unless they punched someone into a wall right in front of the Doomfist. I can still tell that they want you to, like, somewhat rely on your primary fire instead of just your fists like you used to in Overwatch 1. But at this point, I think they should give his primary fire an actual projectile instead of shotgun pellets like Reaper, because for the most part, Doomfist isn't doing much damage up close, even with his primary fire. At least give him a way to, like, you know, pepper someone down before you go in with your fist and probably just die immediately, because everyone's gonna turn around and be like, wow, that man has no escape at all now. But those are my thoughts on the new season in Overwatch 2. What do you guys think about it? Tell me in the comments down below. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.